Welcome to another episode of Queen3 King. This your boy, King Dog.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm wet like water in this mother.
Yikes.
Appreciate you for tuning in again. Welcome to another episode of Queen3 King, where we are discussing mental health and Black history. However, our look at mental health is going to focus on the Black male. But before we do that, let's introduce our co-host. And starting way out north, by way of East Garland from Anna, Texas, we got the seasoned queen, darling Nikki, Boney Maroney, Skinny Minnie, Coco, the glamour herself. What the up queen?
What the what?
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God. Somebody need to wash his mouth out with soap. Hello, family.
Hello.
Thank you, Alicia. That was so wonderful.
Wow.
Wonderful.
It looked like Wilma Jean and greased your face down like she did when you was a little bitty baby.
No, it's my I got a new light. I got a new light.
And he cracked himself up.
And nobody else laughed.
And look like you got look like you done evened out them eyelashes this week too. I appreciate
It was
that.
nothing wrong with my eyelashes last week, nigga.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the Black History Month program.
Well, he needs to hush then during the Black History program.
All right, and next.
Hey.
Out of 40, Texas, by way of East Garland, Texas, standing at 5'3" 1/4" tall. We have TT, the educator, Meba. What up, queen?
Hey,
Rose-
T.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I just come to say happy Black History Month to you.
Wow, so whack. So whack.
That was really lame, T.
I think she practiced that all day too.
And that's all we got.
And it just came to me. It just came to me.
Well, it should have just left your ass there. And last but certainly not least, the baby queen, also hailing out of Forney, Texas, by way of East Garland, Texas, standing at 5'3" 2/4" tall. She grew an inch after having baby Bronx, formerly known as Blake's mama.
Dang.
Lee, Mama Lee. What up, queen?
Hello, family. Happy Tuesday.
That's all it is Tuesday?
It is. That's it.
Ooh.
It's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
A whole bunch of twos.
Yes.
A bunch of two.
Did y'all manifest today? Did y'all put some stuff in the atmosphere?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have to. I manifest.
I do it every day.
I sure do. Amen.
Yeah,
And
yes.
from what last I checked, the shit work every day. Yeah,
That's been the thing today. Manifest. Put it in there.
Let me insult my Lord by saying, Lord, today I know
Right.
you're
I'm gonna get it today, but not tomorrow.
you the Alpha and Omega, but shoot, in the middle, sometimes you need a little 222 help.
Dang.
And a lot of people got married today in Collin County at the courthouse.
It was a lot of people. 222 and 22 was a big wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. I guess they think those are the 2 days are gonna be that they
Special.
last forever.
Right.
If the Lord wants you.
All right, that's all right. We'll see y'all down at the Walter Hawkins courthouse when y'all are trying to figure out how to undo this shit.
Stop it.
We got Bobby McGinty in the house and Boo to the TT introduction, I'm sure.
Good morning, gorgeous Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Good morning, handsome.
Ain't Weed in the house. Hey, my lovely family. What's going on?
Hey,
we
What's going on? All right, so let's dig into this mental health situation as it relates to Black men. So let me start off by asking this question. And we're going to start with Mika since we rarely start with her. Mika, is the health of the Black man challenged by racism? Is the mental health of Black men challenged by racism?
Absolutely. And I think it's been more challenged here over the last, I'm not even going to say 2 years, I'm going to say 5 to 10. I think it's more challenged because we see it more with social media, with people being able to post it more and people being able to talk about it more. And it's been more, it's been put on an open platform now. So with our Black men being challenged, I think they already have different woes of the world that they have to deal with more than others. But to also experience racism, they can go out and not come home simply because of the color of their skin. So yeah.
Wow. Nicole, is the health of the Black man, the mental health of the Black man, challenged by racism?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And I agree with some of the points that Mika made about that too, because our Black men, I think they are under a lot of more pressure, and they feel like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders at sometimes because they're not good enough for the different races of other, and sometimes not even their own their family, their own race is not rooting for them. They have a lot of things against them. So, and I think that has a lot to do with it too as well.
Yeah.
All right, Lily, what you got?
Yeah, daily. That's my prayer. A part of my prayer daily is that every male in my family is covered when they walk out of the door, because they have a lot. They have a target pretty much on their back every day that they walk out the door. So I definitely think racism challenges their mental. And what Mika said about it being in your face, that's so true, because it's happened for years and years and years, right? It's never stopped. But now we're in a society where it's in your face, like put it on the web, go live so everybody can see it. Which I'm thankful for that, because a lot of situations wouldn't have been brought to light had it not been recorded.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a definite, absolute yes. And one of the things that you look at when this situation arises, you talk about the types of stress that exist, right? And of course, you can find all different articles and research papers and stuff like that regarding types of stress. I narrowed them down to 3 types of stress. It's acute stress, which is just every now and then, and it's generally related and connected to some specific event. Episodic acute stress, which is the same type of stress, but it's from events that tend to happen more frequently. And then, like, let's just give an example to say, some people stress out over their mortgage payment being due, or rent, or a car note, or whatever the case may be. So that could be episodic acute, because it takes place, periodically. And then, of course, chronic stress, which are several factors, right? Some may be linked to their own mental health issues anyway, So when you add in the racism component to it, then everyone has a stressor to some degree. So to a certain extent, everyone has the chronic stress triggers out there if they're left unchecked, So that is absolutely the case. We got Marita. Thank Marita in the house. She goes, "Hey family, how you doing?"
Hey Marita.
So Lily, let's ask you this question. We'll start with you. Are Black men more likely to be concerned with their toughness than other races of men? Are they more concerned with their toughness than other races?
Yeah, I would say I think they are, because if you think about it, just based on the way a lot of Black men have been brought up, they're taught not to show their emotions. They're taught to be tough. Don't cry. Oh, you're not hurt. You're okay. That type of thing. And just based on the history of that, a lot of Black boys that grow up with no emotions become Black men that women try to fix on the emotional tip. So I think so, for sure.
Nikki, what do you think? Are Black men more likely to be concerned with their toughness than other races of men?
Yes, I do believe that they are, and it's simply because of what Alicia was saying about with regards to telling boys. Because me myself, I did that even with my own boys. You're okay. Shake it off. You tough. All that kind of stuff. And sometimes that's not. We think that we're doing the right things, or saying the right things to our children, but sometimes we're not. Sometimes those things that we say to them will have an effect upon them as even as they grow up to be a man. So we have to, like you say, parenting don't never come with the manual instruction or anything, but sometimes we could say things and our parents could say things that to us it was no big deal or whatever at that time. But then as you think, when you think about things like that, it does have an effect on our young men, and especially all men, not all men, but of course on men in general, but for different reasons. So yeah, it definitely does.
Just that learned behavior that we pass
Right.
down.
Yeah, Mika.
I totally agree with what they're saying with growing up with it, but from another angle, being tough, you have to be tough in front of your friends. You have to be tough at
Right.
school. You don't ever want to be, especially, when I was in a classroom, our black boys used to always say, "I'm no punk," so they would be worried about being considered a punk if they weren't tough. So yeah, I would say we're more concerned about it. And if I look back, I never really, it was rare that I saw other races saying I'm tough or I ain't no punk. It was, it was more of our black boys. And you see it now with our black men because more races are more apt to walk away from a fight or somebody being aggressive. But we're gonna make sure that everybody knows that we're tough.
Yeah, and I'm part of the problem because if you ran from a fight when I was coming up, well, we gonna talk about you. But
I think we all guilty of that,
right?
Now, this is a perfect link or segue into this article that I wrote with a blog that I used to write, still do on occasion, called the Okie Doke blog, and it was entitled "Big Boys Don't Cry." So instead of me trying to pick and choose from that, it's a relatively short one, so I'm just going to read it. It says, "From an early age, we were admonished for crying. Big boys don't cry. Aren't you a big boy? Well, society has sustained that tenet. Real men don't cry. Crying is a sign of weakness. If a man is starting to break down, he should go to another room or outside to compose himself. Well, don't fall for the okie doke. Real men cry. Crying is a form of toxin release and healing. When a man cries, it is actually the ultimate show of strength. When a man cries freely, it demonstrates that he is not concerned with what people think and he's comfortable in his own skin. Living a life of truth through transparency is freedom. If you feel like crying, cry. I was asleep to this until recently. A friend said, I want to have what you have. And I told her, girl, you don't want this house. This mortgage payment is off the hook. She said, not that, silly. I want to be able to cry as freely as you do. Until then, I hadn't realized how rare it really is. Now I understand why. Today, we reveal the magician's secret. Cry. It could literally save your life. Unchecked stress can be life-threatening. There are 3 types of tears: psychic tears, basal tears, and reflex tears. Psychic tears, also known as emotional tears, are believed to release toxins from a chemical buildup caused by elevated levels of stress. There's also an endorphin in this type of tear that is a natural painkiller and mood enhancer. You forget the drugs, just start crying. So men, women, boys, and girls all over the world, go ahead and have a good cry. It could save your life or someone else's. Don't fall for the okie doke. So again, stress as is related to crying is a huge thing. And it came back up for me recently on the Forecast Monday night program that we do right here on BS3 TV at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we reviewed the movie, the documentary about Arthur Ashe, the African-American tennis player. Shout out, Black History Month, trailblazer, big civil rights movement kind of guy. But he was taught by his coaches, his dad, to check his emotions, and they're like, in order to be an elite tennis player, you can't be moved by how they're moved, by what they're moved by. You're going to be playing against white athletes and you can't let anything shake you. You got to be mentally strong. And so for his entire life, he always checked his emotion. And toward the end of his life, he talked and compared himself to John McEnroe and how jealous he was of John McEnroe, how envious he was in the fact that he could say anything he wanted anytime. And so they don't understand that even though John McEnroe looked like a clown when he was doing what he was doing, at the very least, he wasn't holding in the stress that he had. And so Arthur Ashe, over his lifetime, held in that stress and was taught to hold in that stress, and it actually made some of his medical issues worsen because he had held in that stress. And we don't give enough credit to our medical issues, chronic medical issues, whether they be there already, like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, things of that nature. Whether they're there or not, if they're not there, they're more likely to be there because of stress. And if they are there, they're more likely to be worse because of stress. So again, whether it be through crying, whether it be through, going out and running around the block or whatever the case may be, you need to find a way to alleviate those toxins called stress.
And we talk about that all the time, even in corporate America, right? So you're in meetings and things like that, and whoever of the opposite race can say whatever they want, right? But if you say it, it looks aggressive, right? So that's a really strong point into letting that out and also feeling those emotions. It's okay to voice your opinion and your concern, but I had to learn that in corporate America. When I first got to corporate America, I did not care. I really didn't. I would say what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it, but you learn to kind of check yourself. So
right.
Very, very
and you
true.
had a mentor that kind of said something to you, right?
Absolutely.
It was not, you didn't go reaching out to it, but she came and gave it to you, right?
And she always said, don't lead with your emotions.
Right.
Don't let them see that part of you, because if they see that, that's what they label you as, right? So every time you come in a room, every time Alicia speaks, oh, that's the girl that got angry in the last meeting, or that's what you're always remembered by. So
right. Right. All right. We got Aunt Linda in the building as well.
Hey, Linda. We love you too.
Love you.
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about too, as to what Justin said, that's a fact, to what we've discussed in terms of mental health and Black men, right? Is there a point, and I'll start with you, Lily, on this, what should we do when we see this? Is this something we need to intervene on when we see it rear its ugly head? And if so, how should we do it?
So you're talking like with mental health?
Yeah, like if you see a brother struggling, whether it be your husband, or whether it be me, or whether it be one of your sons, or whether it be one of your cousins, if you see and you think stress is a factor, how do you intervene? What's the critical intervention point to be able to try to stave some of the effects of that stress off?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is just to be their peace, right? So part of them opening up to you is them becoming vulnerable, right? And feeling that.
Money.
So let them feel that with them. Everything doesn't warrant a response, right? So sometimes we're so quick to say, hey, I go into mode of how can I help, or let me fix it. When sometimes all they need you to do is listen in that moment. Let them feel that, because maybe that's the only reason they came to you, because they felt like they could. And they want to show that vulnerable side. And I've said that before with men that are very close to me. I've sat there, let them get it out. I don't have to say a word, but just to be their peace, because a lot of the times in this world, they don't have anybody else to go to or feel comfortable going to, because they don't want to be seen as weak,
right?
Per se, right? So just being their peace is huge in that.
Right. And to piggyback off that just for a second, and parents, this is a thing to parents. Because we are our biggest critics. Okay. And sometimes we don't get our kids outside help because we think it's going to be a display or a demonstration of our inside or internal weakness. It does not make you a bad parent that your kid can't come talk to you about something. It happens, right? For whatever reason, those types of things are developed over a series of years and circumstances. And guess what? We all make mistakes. So if your parents are at a situation or at a point to where they need somebody else to talk to, let them figure out somebody for them to talk to, establish that,
Absolutely.
And like I said, there's no indictment on you as a parent. John says, "Boy, the baby gave Alicia some sense." Is what he's saying.
I cannot.
Akia says, "That's why Kyrie, this is my grandson, was labeled at his school. He got upset and threw a pencil or a chair, and next thing I know, his teacher is saying she's scared to walk past him in the hallway because she thinks he'll hit her."
Wow.
And see, that's another thing too. See,
Wow.
what that brings up for me is that is why it is critical for parents to partner with their teachers, with these educators, and how they are raising their kids. Right? You got to let them know that, hey, if there's any issues, let's talk. You know, I'm here. I want to be I don't want to wait till the 6 weeks to see that, you know, he's failing in 3 grade. I need to know about these kinds of things early and often, you know. So if you see any issue, or if there are things that are going on at home, you need to be proactive and let those teachers know, just like you need to let your bosses know that, hey, I got some stuff going on at home. If I'm off a little bit, that's why, you know, just extend me a little grace this week or this month or whatever the case may be.
Just like I've told teachers, I've met a couple bad kids, but I've never met a kid who wanted to be bad.
Right. There you go.
So you have to see what's going on with that. So for her to just to say, you know what, I'm not fooling with him, he bad. No, it's something underneath that. No kid just wants to be bad. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Good point.
Okay, so let's get one more comment. Then, Nikki, we'll get to you on the critical intervention points. Kevin says, man, dog, 2019, right after my dad passed, I was on duty and went out to a crash, which involved the fatalities of 3 little kids, ages 3 to 11. After that horrific scene, I called a family member in Dallas who is a pastor and cried like a baby. It helped me get through the process that what I had to witness. So yes, if you need to cry, don't hold that in. It will break you down.
Yes.
That is 100% true. And I'll give it, that's a good segue, Brother West. I don't know if you know Big Country Craig. That is my BFFFFFF, you know. And one of the things that we do, we had the barbershop, and of course, you know, as the barbershop is known as the place the brothers get together and we talk about life, you know, and of course our children and our relationships and our work and et cetera, et cetera. And when I say I can't count how many times we have been in tears at the barbershop during a haircut because we are talking about life, you know, or what somebody at the barbershop means to us, or about what our kids mean to us, or about what we're trying to accomplish with our kids and our family, or how we're misunderstood at home, or whatever the case may be. I can't tell you how many times we done played a song before in the middle of a haircut, ain't nothing going on. We laughing and talking. We done played a song done came on and done moved emotions there to where you got to, there have been times where the whole barbershop is crying because we are comfortable doing so, you know. Didn't nobody come in there the next day and say, or the next week, y'all remember y'all chumps was crying last week? You know, they wanted to come back because they like, that's a safe place. I can cry, I can talk about what's bothering me, I can let my guard down, and everything's gonna be fine. So you need to, with what Kevin West said, you need to have a place where you can pour your toxins out. You need to identify someone who you can talk about what you're struggling with, that know that they're gonna flush it, that they're not gonna hold it, because taking on somebody else's toxins could make you hold it yourself.
Oh yeah.
But they got to know how to flush it as well, but they got to know how to be non-judgmental for you. So, Nikki, what is a critical intervention point for Black men and their men? Who am I talking like? Black men and their mental health. What are some critical intervention points?
I think it's I'm just going to use my own self as an example. My own son. Before I actually knew what was going on, I could see a lot of lashing out and things of that nature. But you just, as a parent, you just top it off most of the time and just say, oh, just write it off and say, well, he's just a teenager, or he's just this, or he's just that. And he's, he's feeling himself, all those kind of things. But in reality, it wasn't that. And there was other signs, warning signs there, not just acting out, but when he played football, his senior year in football, playing football, they went to the playoffs. They lost at the playoffs. And then once they lost, he called me, and he couldn't stop crying. And I couldn't even understand anything that he was saying, but he kept saying, I can't stop crying. I can't stop crying. And he said, and he was like, I was like, well, what's wrong? And he's like, I just can't stop crying. So I said, I talked to, tried to talk him through it while he was on the bus. Then he said that he kept going on and on about the football and the crying and stuff. So eventually when he started acting out in other ways, after football, it dawned on me that football was his outlet. He's been dealing with things through high school that he didn't open up about, or because of whatever reason. But at the same time, I think it's important if a light bulb goes off, like that day when that light bulb went off, when he was just crying and crying, which he's never done before, but that was senior year. And so eventually it dawned on me, that's what the problem is. That's his outlet. That's his safe. That was his safe place to go to and to have fun and enjoy his friends and whatever. So I think it's very important when you see any signs, even if you think it's not nothing to be alarmed with, it may not be, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you ask them, sit them down, talk to them one-on-one. You don't have to do it in front of people or anything like that. Just talk to them one-on-one and let them open up and pour out, everything that they need to pour out to you. Let them pour it out and don't judge them. Just be there to help them.
Right. And so, but some housekeeping before we get to Mika's response about this critical intervention point. We are a real show, and if you hadn't noticed already, we are ourselves. And while we come across very professionally, hell, you see the intro video, you see the outro video, you see the segment introduction. Hell, we own this. However, real life is real life, and our baby queen has been sacrificing over the last couple of weeks with a newborn in the house, still trying to get the show done. So if she got to step away to go make sure that the other kids in there ain't taking this as their opportunity to take out the new prince, then that's what she gonna do. So just a little heads up, if that's the case, if she has to get off camera and step away, that's what the situation is. We are definitely respectful of you as our viewers and supporters, but real life happens, right?
Right.
And Blake probably playing jump rope with him or something.
Don't say that.
And Kevin, when I mentioned Country Craig, he goes, "Yeah, I know Country Craig. We all went to church together." Right, that's the one. Justin said, "That's why I keep basketball so close to me and the boys." Right, I hear a lot of brothers that talk about athletics in terms of their release.
Yeah.
Akia talking about speaking with the educator. She goes, I do this literally every year. I let them know how Kyrie is and how to prevent his behaviors. And Kobe is very good with reaching out to them. But these are different teachers. Yep.
Yeah.
And just like we can be in our own professional professions and our own careers and things of that nature, sometimes people get jaded. And so they see things much more differently after being on the job this many years or that many years or whatever. And then you also have some people who are brand new to teaching who unfortunately get corrupted at an early age because those teachers who have been there for a long period of time are pouring their experiences out on that new educator. So putting them in a frame of mind. That's why when I was at a job before, I was part of what we call the Angels team. So whenever we had a new worker, we were assigned to them to make sure that they got the proper experience of that company, not the ones that are individualized based on people's performance a lot of times, right? So we get to them to make sure that they weren't corrupt. So Mika, we'll let you break down this intervention point. Lily, we'll be doing your segment soon. So if you need to check on Red, go check on it.
Okay.
Mika, is there a critical intervention point for Black men in their mental health?
I would say yes. And fortunately, in my family, I think we're blessed enough. Just Daddy and Teg are men that will cry in front of you and do not mind it. So you have to, I think even our cousins, you have to be aware. I think you look at behaviors that change, not even like drastic behaviors. They call less, or they're snappy. Or you don't,
There you go. That's good. Yeah.
Just different things, small things that change their behavior, but that's not how he acts, or that's not okay. That's not what he does in that situation. Just seeing his response in those situations. And like Alicia said, and you said it earlier, Ted, you have to practice on being somebody's safe place for their peace. I don't always need to respond, or I don't always have to. If you're freaking out, I need to be able to be peaceful. Like, I don't have to respond the way you respond, because I would expect for you, if I'm having a, episode or something's not going wrong, I don't need us both freaking out. So I think we have to find that balance and help our men when they do have that, that time where they're upset or they're stressed or they just want a safe place to talk. Open that up. Practice on being somebody's peace, because it doesn't come naturally sometimes, because you do want to fix it. You do want to yell, or you do want to say, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I ain't did nothing to you.
Exactly. And 9 times out of 10,
it's not about you.
It's not you. So you have to practice that, and you have to pay close attention to people's behaviors and actions. So that's what I would think.
Right. Fantastic. Yeah. In fact, my answer to the question, is there a critical intervention point for Black men's mental health, is now. My point is that you don't wait till there's a sign. You don't wait till there's a need to signal it, right? We all know what we're going through on a daily basis. So at the very least, for the men in your life, the males in your life, the Black males in your life, start developing now that safe space for them to be able to come to when there is a situation that will most definitely arise, right? Again, we said that there are some triggers out there that could lead to chronic stress for everyone if they're not equipped to deal with it. So the critical intervention point is now. So you don't have to wait till there's an issue to try to figure out, how am I going to start communicating with them? Establish those boundaries and lines of communication now, and let's see, we got any other comments? Okay, yeah, we got Kirby in the building. What's going on, Kirby?
Hey, Kirby.
Peace and love on this evening. And so now, Lily, it is time for your segment.
The streets are talking.
And of course, Mika does not dance anymore because she knows she can't dance that 13 seconds straight.
Baby, my kids heard that streets talking music playing and busted in here, mama.
What, really?
They thought the show was over.
Y'all just pray for us, okay? As we adjust.
They think this 60 minutes that went quick, boy.
All right. Yes, the streets are talking. So a lot of buzz going on, but 2 stories kind of stuck out to me that kind of had me like, okay, let's talk a little bit about it. So I'm gonna have Ted put up the first picture of our sister Kiki Wyatt. So shout out to some of our viewers. I just want us viewers' voice to know that we heard you. Okay, y'all said put up some of them pictures when y'all talking about them folks, and they are right here. Okay, so this is Kiki Wyatt, who is an R&B singer. She not a singer, she is a singer. She was singing you down.
She is.
That baby sang.
She was singing you down. So she announced this weekend that she is pregnant with number 11.
God.
Well,
Let's
let
put the family picture.
Put that up.
Yeah, that family picture up. So this was a part of her baby announcement. So the streets have a lot to say about Miss Kiki Wyatt. So some people are saying it's just too much. Like, girl, what are you doing? Other people are saying we need to stay out of that woman's uterus. Stay out of her uterus. If she want to have 11, 12, 13 kids, let her do that. And some people are saying she is taking be fruitful and multiply too little, right? So that is the question that is out there. Should we be concerned with how many kids somebody is out there having? Or can you really give those kids that attention they need with having 11 kids? She's a singer. She's touring the world. Is that fair to the kids?
Well, she got some kind of time. Because she
I agree.
That late night time, huh?
I'm gonna say this. My first inclination is mind your damn business. That's my first inclination. It ain't none of your business, and you don't know what type of support system she has over
Right.
there, right?
Yep.
And not getting into the daddy situation or
Mhm.
anything like that, and how many there are. And looking at this picture, this looks like a healthy, happy family to me, right?
Yeah.
But
If
don't
she
all
can,
of our family pictures do? That's why you take them on a certain day and you dress all the same and shit like that, right? But
yeah.
nonetheless, it ain't none of our business.
Yeah.
It's on them.
It's
And
not.
coming from a big family ourselves, right? To
Mhm.
where our mother had 9 siblings, so it was 10 of
Yep.
them total. Guess what? She may not have time, but let me let you look at this picture again. You don't think that little girl got plenty of big sisters to get whatever she need to get from, or them little boys
Mhm.
got plenty of big brothers to get what they need to get from? That's what family is about. That's
Right.
what we don't get enough of, is that interaction. So
Yep.
again, just sheer number of kids is not enough for me to be able to crucify this chick, without knowing all the elements of it.
And she can afford to take care of them. So that's
Yeah.
the main
Obviously.
thing.
A lot of people are comparing her situation to Nick Cannon, but I'm like, that's not fair
No.
because Kiki Wyatt has been in marriages. I
Right.
think she's been married twice,
Mhm.
and she conceived all kids within her marriage, and that's
Right.
her and her husband's business.
Right.
I think
some
Nick
people want big
Cannon's situation
families.
is a little different, where he is planting the seed everywhere he lays. So,
Mm.
Baby,
That's an understatement.
I won't look at Nick Cannon in the eye. You get pregnant.
You pregnant?
No, but I'm with. First of all, she can sing down everything and everybody in her past.
Yes.
Kiki White is one of my favorite artists. Her
I love
attitude
her.
is a little different sometimes, and I think that's why she doesn't get the credit she should get. But I'm thinking, if she want to have 4 more, guess whose business that is? Her and her husband. If you can financially and mentally take care of those kids, do your thing. But I wouldn't. She may be. I don't know what she got going on. That's a problem. Y'all need to drink your water and mind your business.
Yep. But that's the
Kirby,
thing. Oh, go ahead.
Kirby said we need to stay out of it. Her oven still bakes, and I'm telling you, Kirby, I got you one better. If she sing like that to me, I'm gonna put as many babies in her as she wants.
Oh my!
Yes. So a lot of people are just out there saying how their nerves would be bad, but I'm like, those are your nerves. That's why you get to pick the number of kids you have. So you don't have to worry about what she does with her family.
Right.
So it's just been a lot of going back and forth, and she was definitely trending all weekend. Had all the memes. It was one funny one though. It was like this concert, and it was like thousands of people in the
Did you say
stadium.
peeper? You start getting proper on the thing when you're in the middle of your segment. You thought, let me get proper peeper.
That's because she had been over here so long. So I started talking like her. But they said Nick and Kiki Wyatt's family reunion in the year 3000. It was so funny to me because it was so many of them.
Oh,
but
wow.
That was funny. That was funny, but she has a gorgeous family. So whatever she decides to do, she can keep doing it. She can do her.
All right, we got A-Trap in the building. He said,
Hey,
I don't even
A-Trap.
look at Nick. I'm scared too, Mason.
God.
And speaking of, A-Trap will be our special guest host next week.
Hey.
With an episode entitled No New Friends. And he'll be on. So.
All right.
Kirby said, Doc, I'm with you when you're right.
When you're right.
All right. Next story. So go ahead and put that lovely picture of these disgusting individuals.
Oh, wow.
They are disgusting. So let me talk to you about these two.
I missed this. What is this?
So this Louisiana ex-teacher, her name is Cynthia Perkins. She's 36 years old. She admitted to giving her students cupcakes laced with her husband's sperm.
Oh, you jerk.
And she went to school. She took those cupcakes to those children and then later on admitted, yeah, they had my husband's sperm in them. She has been sentenced to 41 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
She pleaded guilty to second-degree rape, production of child pornography. So they have all types of charges. And her her husband was a ex-sheriff is what he was.
Mhm.
But they have a production of child pornography, conspiracy of mingling harmful substances in Livingston. But part of her deal was to testify against her husband, and he's a former sheriff's deputy who is also facing 150 criminal charges, and many of which are also sex crimes.
Wow.
So this couple was arrested back in 2019 after they allegedly abused a child together, amongst other crimes. So,
okay, so is that how they got caught? It's because of
Yes.
that, or the cup, and then the cupcakes just came up.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
these
all of that
kids
just
done
kind
ate
of,
all these cupcakes and didn't
Yes.
run the wiser. No
And-
kid got sick from it that they know of.
not
they
that
know
they
of.
know of, or if they
Right.
linked it to. So it could have been some kids that fell sick after, and they didn't
they
even
don't
think about that
Yeah.
because it hadn't been discovered at this point. But sad. It's just
Yeah, it
ridiculous
is.
that you think you can send your kids to school
Right.
and they be absolutely fine, and then
What the hell are you laughing
Because
at?
I mean, I'm laughing because that's why when Blake he be at school, we be like, who brought it? Did you eat it?
no. Now it goes straight to the basura.
Yeah, it
We
goes to
ain't
the
doing that.
trash.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
But
yeah.
Then I wonder if those parents of those kids were notified of what had taken place.
I
Because
almost feel like, don't you have to?
you better.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
maybe.
I'm
need
sure
to notify them.
if it was their teacher that year, they had to notify those parents.
That's right. Any kid they say your kid could have possibly been were you in class that day. Number one, so they have the opportunity for some recourse. Not that I'm trying to encourage this already litigious society that we have,
Right.
but you know that's only fair, man. You got to let those parents know. And also, what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of counties and cities and whatnot, states have a victims of crime fund available. So you know, so again, I would be looking. I hope they notified those parents.
Absolutely.
And he just sat there and let her put his sperm in cupcakes.
Yeah, well, he was
Sure,
already.
I mean, they was already getting freaky.
I was
with
gonna
it,
say
you
he
know?
already
Hey,
sick in the head too. Because
trust me. I'm so cool with my lady being freaky dicky. Good. Let's go freak. You know, whatever the case may be. Like, you know, we can't hang no stuff off the chandelier because ain't no studs big enough over in this house to support both our weight. But my point is, we can get freaky, but when you start going there, come on,
like
you know,
stop it. That's
you
gross.
bring it in,
Yeah,
you know.
I found out about it from my 18-year-old.
Wow.
This article.
Yeah,
and the thing is, he didn't care because he was
No.
already he already had child pornography charges.
Oh,
They had already
he ain't worried
sexually
about that.
assaulted. He didn't care
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
his idea. Yeah,
was
you know,
so
she
sick.
making the cupcakes. What are you doing? Oh, I'm making cupcakes for my kids. F them kids. Here, matter of fact, you know, I mean,
yeah, that's probably
you
how
know,
it did
ain't
go
no
down.
telling. But and if she got 41, he's a sheriff, former sheriff or sheriff's deputy or whatever the case may be. Ain't no telling what he finna get when he get.
Oh yeah.
And he's facing 150 criminal charges,
especially if he's a former sheriff. Whatever, they can actually get a win-win on this from the justice system. They can say, look, we're hard on cops too, you know, or whatever, even though he's a former cop, so it won't hurt them as bad with the blue, right? And ain't no telling why he a former whatever, because you don't get a lot of former, you know, in that situation. Brandon says, I think my only issue with having multitude of children is giving them all the attention they will require. Plus, she may have the capability to do so. I can't judge her. That would be me projecting my issues on her. And as far as I'm concerned, again, you do more things as a family. And then as a result, you give a kid their day, you know, to say, okay, the majority of the time we're all together and we're doing our thing as a whole, but then you just circle back and say each kid got an alone day. I suggest that with parents who just got 2 kids or 4 kids or 5 kids. Give those kids their own day. Even those bonus kids. You want to make a difference in a bonus kid's life? Take them out for a day while your blood kids stay at the house on their tablets or whatever they gonna do. So yeah, so it can be managed if you want to. Anything can be managed if you want to bad enough. A-Trap said sad, just sad.
It is.
He also said not the cupcakes, but a teacher in my high school was arrested for child pornography. He was my drafting teacher. God dang it, he put the boy.
Yeah, put the man name.
Yeah. and
Way to go, A-Trap. That's good.
Yeah, put him out there, A-Trap.
That's exactly right.
Yes,
it is.
Absolutely.
Exactly
Absolutely.
Right. Rada Kev in the building said, "What up? Pray everyone is
hey,
good."
Rada
Kev.
John says anything that involves an oven might be too far. Wow. Yeah.
John.
You think?
Bye, John.
DeMarcus, what's up? He said,
Hey,
he said, LOL, I love y'all.
Love
Kirby
you too.
says, that's not freaky, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that is sick.
Said, him and another teacher work together at our number one rival. And Mama said, I read that I would have gotten there before the police, and the rest is history. Yeah. She goes, I read that I would have been there before the police, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
No lie.
She ain't playing because she said she would drive that Kia into the office, okay?
Yeah.
At K school, so she ain't playing.
All right, thank you, Lee. Those were from fantastic Streets Are Talking stories. So now let's cover a couple of. Did y'all bring any the Black history figures that y'all wanted to discuss?
I did.
Nasty answer.
Selena, that's all right. Well, the thing is, I can hear Selena saying,
"Yeah." So I didn't hear y'all. Did y'all bring?
No,
figures?
I said that I did.
I did.
I actually had Kenyana make me a shirt of my favorite.
Okay, go for it. It's on you.
Okay.
And and I don't know if y'all can see it or not.
You gotta stand up.
I'm gonna stand up. And
you brought props.
You got your wait. You got your good drawers on today?
Yeah. I don't have no holes today.
These ain't no period panties, is they?
No, period.
No. You nasty. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it or not. Let me see. Harriet Tubman, and she said, "We out."
We out.
I don't want to say what else.
The lady that used to live across the street from May Maddie.
No.
No, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Boy. No, not Janelle. Why?
Justin, is that your across the street neighbor? Show him the picture one more time.
It's Harriet Tubman.
That's one of my favorite movies, Harriet. That's a good movie.
And she just let them know we out.
She did.
Yeah. I thought she was a very brave lady back in those times to help rescue the slaves.
Dee said, what else she say?
What else she say?
She said, we out, you. It starts with a B.
As A-Trap so eloquently remind us, please remember to click the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We need you. And download that BS3 TV on Roku and check us out there. Show your friends to show your friends.
Yes.
All right. So Harriet Tubman. Okay, that's a good one. Lily, you got who you got?
Sojourner Truth. So that is so funny because a lot of the times she's kind of looked over.
Right.
And you don't hear as much about that. But I actually did a report on her when I was younger in school. And she was one of my favorites because just like Harriet, she said we out, but she took her baby with her and escaped. But after she escaped, she sued the man that illegally sold her 5-year-old son and was the first Black woman to win that case. So I always thought that was super, super dope. She got her son back. Then she became an evangelist and did all of that good stuff. So super strong lady. Also fought for women's rights too. So she was not only civil rights, she was also fighting to make sure every woman was looked at as equal, right? So that's one of my favorite of all time.
Okay, cool. Mika, you got anything?
Yes, I actually did exactly what Alicia did. I went with the person who's kind of overlooked during Black History Month, Katherine Johnson. And if anybody saw Hidden Figures, Taraji P. Henson played her. and she was an American mathematician. She
Johnson.
helped get us to the moon. Her calculations got us there and back safely. She was one of the first STEMinists, and I say STEMinist. She was a person who loved STEM. She was very well versed in science, technology, engineering, and math before STEM even existed. So I just wanted to shout her out today.
Okay, cool. I took a bit of a different approach.
Okay.
And hang on one second. I'm gonna get a couple of these comments from I get there. Kevin said if y'all used to listen to K104, is he talking about Sir Joan the Truth used to be brought up all the time on that, didn't she? Is that what he's talking about, maybe?
Did she?
I don't know.
I must have missed that. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's talking about. I know they used to have a little Black History moment or something like that.
Yeah, they did used to have that, but I don't know.
That's what he said. Yes, I thought I remembered that too. They used to.
I don't recall.
Yeah, it was probably before y'all time. Kevin, me and Brother West a little older than y'all, so yeah, this was back before he became the police. He was out there in them streets then. Let's see. Mark says D said interesting for real. I never knew that.
Yeah,
Everett Jackson said yes, she was. Yep, I mentioned on K104 all the time. That was their go-to. Seems like. So again, I took a bit of a different approach, and I'm talking about the history, the Black history that was made in February in 2022. The first is Miss Erin Jackson, which was the first Black woman to win a medal for speed skating. She won that this year, so she is a current Black History Month contributor. And then also Elena Myers Taylor, she is actually won her 5th Olympic medal Saturday, making her not only the most decorated woman to ever compete in the Olympic bobsled, but also the most decorated Black athlete in the history of the Winter Games. Because you know when it's cold outside, that's how they beat us racing. It's because they like it's too cold out there.
Them joints lock up.
March.
Yeah.
Them joints lock up.
So Kevin said Nanette Lee, yeah.
Nanette Lee.
Oh yeah. Now they talk about the Skip Cheatham show. Is that the right? Yeah, Skip Murphy.
Skip Murphy,
yeah.
And then also I got a couple of others before we get to our final thoughts. A couple of other Black history, little known Black history. What's up, twin?
Hey, twin.
Me and that brother. Hey, he called me. Galen called me the other night, and when I say we for about 30 minutes. We went house by house on the east side saying, you remember Miss such and such used to live there? And Tony Price used to live there. And I mean, I'm talking about we went over the entire neighborhood the other night. What's going on, y'all? So I had a fantastic conversation. So again, some more little known. This first one I started with will be a little bit more. You'll recognize this picture, but you won't recognize what he was known for. And that is Mr. Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
he is the first Black man to tell the police, I ain't see shit. First Black man to tell the police, I ain't see shit.
Ted, you made that
up. We got Darlene Goodhair Jackson.
Yeah, she got that good hair.
She the first Black woman to tell folks that she got Indian in her family because her hair is good.
Not doing it. I'm not.
And then we got Sugar Baby James. He's the first Black kid to time travel because his mama knocked him in the next week.
Wow.
Let me get a couple of comments from these. Kevin West said,
I ain't had no Sugar Babies in years.
A-Trap.
Well, damn.
As a matter of fact, that's who I got a couple of these from A-Trap. Kevin said, Doc, you need to stop, brother. Everett said, wow. Kirby, LOL. Let's see, we got a few more here. We got Lucius Loose Lips Cooper. He the first brother to call the police on his neighbors and got beat down for telling it on him. Let's see. We got Reginald Phenem Lockwood. He the first Black man to put everything on his mama. On my mama, I didn't.
On my mama, I didn't say that.
So he the one that started that. We got Cheryl Lookout Rogers. She's the first Black woman to get her ass whooped for not
Just
minding
know.
her business. She's the woman that little people don't know. She's the one who 227 was based off of. That lady used to sit in
Pearl.
Hilarious.
We got Tanya T.T. Wallace
All right.
in the building. And I cannot see my photos. So hold on. Let me just see what I got Miss T.T. Wallace down for here. So T.T. Wallace was the first Black woman to sell $100 in food stamps for $50 cash. Let's see. I think I got a cut. Okay, there we go. A couple of more. Okay, we got Claude. Everybody know a Claude. We got Claude Malvo, the first Black man to extend his work break 30 minutes after his break was over.
We thank you, brother.
Go back. So again, these are some little known Black history figures that have contributed mightily to society and Black history. So we salute you and all of our other Black history contributors.
We do.
So again, now we'll go around the horn and just give final thoughts on mental health and Black history. And we will start with the seasoned queen as usual for final thoughts by way of Anna, Texas. Go.
First, I'd just like to thank you guys for supporting us once again this week, as well as all the other previous weeks that you've joined us. I also like to thank the ones who are new to the podcast that have come back for the next several weeks now. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy the podcast. And on the mental health side of things, with not just the from the male perspective, but if you see anybody or that you think may be dealing with something, just kind of just pray. You can pray for them, but also just try to find a way that you can just have a conversation with them and let them know that you're there for them, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a friend or a classmate. Just try to take the time out, because it'll mean a lot to them if you just take the time out to check on them and make sure that they're good. Mm-hmm. And if they don't want to talk to you, see if they'll go to a counselor or in the school or somewhere. But just make sure that you know that everybody's going through something. Everybody's going through something. It may not be what you're going through, but everybody is going through something. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm so grateful that we have all of these wonderful men and women who have paved the way for us by doing the things that they did back in the day, like Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks and all these different guys, Martin Luther King, all of those people who went and paved the way for us. Because if it had not been for them and for God using them for such a time as he did, then we wouldn't be here today. So I'm very grateful for all those people who did what they did for our country, for us as Black people, actually.
All right.
And that's it.
All right. Mika, final thoughts.
Again, thank you all for the support. Thank you for always helping to make our show what it is. It wouldn't be the success it is without you all. And for Black History Month, 1 month is not long enough. I always say, do y'all celebrate Black history during February? No, we celebrate it every month. It should be celebrated every month. And with the people who led the way, it's, of course, we have our major, folks like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Harriet Tubman, but we have, people that we don't even mention or don't even know who made a huge difference. So we appreciate and we thank you all for that. And like my sister said, it's so many that we don't mention, but we it's appreciated. And for our Black men and, dealing with mental health, sometimes you just need to know that you're needed. And as I'm just going to tell you, as a Black woman, with my family, with my friends, we need you. We need you to be mentally healthy. We need you to be physically healthy. But most important, that mental, if the mental's not right, everything else won't go. So we need you to be here with us. And whatever we can do to bring you peace, let us be your safe place. And we appreciate y'all. That's it.
All right, Lily.
Thank you guys for tuning in week after week. I enjoy reading your comments and just having y'all be a part of the show. Black history. I agree. It should be celebrated every day. I know that even when my brother came up with this idea, it just got me to look at online, to look at some people that you really don't hear about, because you still want to keep those people in your thoughts and bring their names to light too. So I even learned a lot just kind of looking through some of those things, because it's so important that we know our history, right? We see that in schools, they're trying to take away our history, but it's so important that we keep it alive and keep talking about it. And I can even say in our household, it was refreshing to see Blake go to school and know that his teacher is still talking about it, because he came home and he could give me a whole report on Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. So I love that. I think that is so important for us to just open up that door and just have those conversations, because our kids, as they get older, they see what's going on around us. So it's important to know where we came from so we can know that where we need to go, right? Mm-hmm. As far as mental health, Black men, I love you. I think that's something we don't say too much to each other. And I love that when I see Black men telling each other, I love you, I love to see that, because they see each other, they know where each other is at mentally, and they know that Stop! Y'all gonna stop throwing me off every week.
he go about them summer sausage too.
Yes, he do, and summer cheese, but no summer cheese. But yes, it's just important that we have your back, and like I mentioned before, it's so important to be your peace. So if you ever have any Black men that come to you and they are just seeking to have somebody listen to them because they feel like the world may be against them, just listen. You don't always have to respond. You don't have to fix it, because you can't fix it. 9 times out of 10, you can't fix what's going on, but they just need somebody to listen and know that they have that safe space to come to you and to talk to you. So love you guys, and keep supporting us each week, and we'll be here every single Tuesday.
Well, before I get into my final thoughts, Lily, yours made me think of this, because this is at least the second time in this show where you said "be his peace" or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, what hit me is that it's difficult to be somebody's peace when you have no peace.
Woo!
So
that's real true.
They have to obtain peace themselves before they can be it. And just think about it.
Absolutely.
Whenever you see a female not being the peace of that male, or either the other way around, 9 times out of 10, it's because they have no peace, and you can see it all in the situation, you know. So how can you be something you don't have, you know? Man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. H-Rap says, thank you. I appreciate that. We appreciate our sisters as well. And that was to Mika and Lily's comment about men. We need you. Kirby says, I appreciate you guys. Keep enlightening. Looking forward to next week. Yes. And just to clarify Craig's statement about the summer sausage. So when she was talking about what Blake come home to school with, he talked about what Blake go to school with. But I don't know that I told Craig before, because he's well aware of his summer sausage addiction. But I don't think I told him that Blake says he wants summer sausage, but no summer cheese.
Yes, we don't do cheese.
Summer cheese. Mama said that's a very true statement. Yeah.
He loves to take charcuterie boards to school. So Tig trying to play him like it's just
spell charcuterie. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
I can't.
D talking about y'all speaking the real. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, D.
So before I get into my final thoughts, I want to just mention to you, next week we got an exciting show happening with our special guest H-Rap B called No New Friends. And we're going to talk about No New Friends. That's not one you're going to want to miss. I assure you. Next week, No New Friends. To echo the sentiments. Hang on one second. Dr. Smith says peace begets peace and chaos begets chaos. Great show.
Yes. Yeah. Very true.
Derek, great show. Thank you, Derek. This is one of my favorite podcasts. No kidding. Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
So for me, on final thoughts, one of the things that I will say is that, and I'll start with Black history, and that is that it is impossible. It is pertinent impossible, okay, to go through life on a daily basis and not feel, see, and experience the impact that Black people have had on the world. Okay. You can call in sick one day and stay at home and never get out your bed, and you still are going to be touched by something Black people had something to do with. So again, Black History Month is just the month that we draw awareness to that, but Black history is seen and felt on a daily basis every single year. So don't get it twisted. Don't fall for the okie doke. In terms of mental health, again, I think we need to continue to have conversations like these in several different arenas. So therefore, the stigmatism of mental health in our community and those walls are continued to be destroyed, so people can get the help that they truly need. And as far as Queen3 is concerned, again, royalty has always been available to Queen3 and King. However, we finally demonstrated the courage to reach out and grab hold. Royalty is available for you too. Just go for it. And we'll see you on the next episode of Queen3 and King.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Are we smiling or what are we doing?
The Queen Bee has arrived.
You know. What's your out then? So I'm gonna start with both of y'all's hands right here.